Good evening. Back again, Shavuot Tov, reading passages from Inner Work of Adat Hashem. We're on page 123. The Rebbe Zatzal would look at everybody in a positive way. This is not simple. It is an art that is learned. It's a really beautiful thought. I've been thinking a lot about how we see people, how I see people, especially strangers, and what a practice it truly is. Because we can be seeing the masks, we can be seeing the projections, what people want us to see. We can see with our mind, or we can see with our soul and our heart. And we can look at people in a positive way. We can see their essence, we can see their goodness, we can see the love in their being, the light in their being. We can see the purity of the creation that is before us, rather than the identity that is emanating, the ego, the structures of self that have been built up over time, that are being expressed through the individual. So it's quite a work. It is quite an art. I like that. It's an art that is learned. It is an art form. A spiritual practice to see the God in people. Not to see with the mind and the thoughts, but to really pierce through the layers and see the pure beauty, the spiritual beauty in another. A waiter in a restaurant works hard the whole evening, serving and cleaning and doing for other people. Why do we not consider the waiter to be working out of love for others? We see that the waiter's actions do not tell us anything. The intention is what matters. The waiter is working to receive a salary at the end of the evening. It is the same in spiritual work. If a person is kind to others and keeps Torah and mitzvot stringently, but wants payment from God, in this world or in the world to come, then this is exactly like the waiter. There is no difference. Right? So if we're doing spiritual practice for reward, either in this world or the world to come, then we're like a waiter who is only serving others to get a paycheck, to get a salary, to get the reward from the service, rather than doing the service out of love for others. Of course, you can do both. Absolutely, you can do both. But the point that the Rav is making here is that if you're only doing the mitzvot in order to get payment from God, to get reward, either in this world or the world to come, then you're missing the point. The point is to serve from love. If you have a connection with the Creator, if you have a sense of the Creator's will, the divine will, and you wish to serve that, you wish to align with that, and you do so, then there is a love that flows through that. There is a joy that we've been saying that flows through that. And that is the true service. That is the service from love of the divine. God is revealed to the extent that we desire to give. God is revealed to the extent that we desire to give. HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitgaleh rak bekelim shel hashpa'ah. See, it's a little bit different, the translation. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, mitgaleh, is revealed rak bekelim shel hashpa'ah, only through the vessels of hashpa'ah, or with the vessels, or in the vessels of hashpa'ah. Bekelim shel hashpa'ah. Yeah, God is revealed through hashpa'ah, through giving. The more that we are aligned with true giving and true service, the more that we are not seeking for ourselves, but seeking to serve and to fill the world with love and spiritual light, the more that God is revealed. The more we're in alignment with giving to others, giving back to God. The more that God is thus revealed. Cultivating emunah, that we are in the presence of God and acting accordingly, is the essence of spiritual work. Cultivating emunah, embodied faith, the embodied faith that we are in the presence of God. That every moment God's light, God's love is shining down upon us. Every moment we are in that. Just like a fish is in water and doesn't recognize the water, so too we are in God and don't recognize God. So we must cultivate the emunah, the embodied faith, to believe that we are, to know through our being that we are in the presence of God at all times. And then act accordingly. Act as if that were according to that knowledge, according to that embodied faith. Acting as if God were here, or God's love is emanating. And this is the essence of our spiritual work. Cultivating this type of emunah. Wanting to give and wanting to have emunah are what brings spiritual blessing. Right? So wanting to be a giver and wanting to have emunah, these are what bring spiritual blessing. These are what we should be praying for, to become a giver, and to have full emunah. These should be our prayers, and these prayers are what bring about spiritual blessing. Final passage for tonight. One could think that great talent and intellect are needed in order to be blessed, but this is not true. Overcoming self-centeredness is what brings blessing. Overcoming self-centeredness is what brings blessing. The more we overcome our self-centeredness, the more we are blessed with connection to God. Lefi shiur shemivatel, to the degree in which we nullify ourselves. This is what brings about spiritual blessing. The spiritual blessing of becoming close to the Creator. So it's not about, talent or intellect. It's all about our capacity to nullify ourselves, right? So many people think that you need to be some brilliant mind to become close to God, or to have to have spiritual blessing. You need to be able to know all these scriptures and know the Talmud and know Kabbalah. No, right? All in the mind, knowledge. No to knowing. It's so much simpler than that. And so anyone with any level of intellect has the capacity to just overcome self-serving, self-centered, separate self nature, to mivatel, to nullify one's self, to soften down the power of the identity, and to rest back into the purity of our being. This is what brings about spiritual blessing. The spiritual blessing of becoming close to God. The more we nullify that ego identity, the more we rest in our pure being, the closer we come to God, the essence of God that is surrounding us at all times. We just truly need to rest back into it. Rest back into what is. Right? That is the truth. The truth is, this is all the divine. Whether we see it or not, it doesn't matter. It is the ground of being. It is the truth of creation and existence. Everything is spiritual. Everything comes from the source of all existence. So we just need to rest into that, to soften the identity which separates us, which creates separation between us and the divine, and us and others. And to just rest into the pureness of our being, breathing as creation. Creation aware of itself as creation. Creation breathing. Expressions and extensions of the divine, doing the spiritual work to align our identity with that, to align our thoughts, speech, and action with the divine, to bring about the revelation of God in this world, in the Galut paradigm. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful week.